Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how I wash my makeup brushes, and I do this about once to twice a week. I mean, it's not like an everyday thing, but even though I don't really like cleaning my brushes, it's kind of something that I really do have to do a lot. So, because I do makeup on other people and things, not quite a bit, but I do use it a lot, and I just want everything to stay clean. What I personally use is a combination of three things, and it sounds kind of excessive, but I want my brushes to be really clean. I use just some form of soap. You could use ivory soap. I'm using the Olay bar today, but I have used ivory soap, and it works just as good. It's just the Olay bar is what I have on hand. Johnson's baby shampoo. Doesn't have to be Johnson's. It can be it doesn't matter. It just has to be baby shampoo because it's nicer on the hairs and your brushes. And then just a pure isopropyl alcohol. I use about I use the 70%, I think. So what you do first is, at least what I do first, is I wipe my brush. And I'm just using right now I'm going to be demonstrating on a Victoria's Secret powder brush. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to talk a bit louder because of the water, but turn the water on. I use cold water, mostly because the water in this sink doesn't get very hot. So I'm just kind of letting it get wet, running my hands through the bristles, squeezing it out. Don't let this part right here get wet. This can get wet, but once that touches that line, it's gonna help. It's gonna make the glue rust and come undone. This part, you don't want to wash your brushes with really hot water because it will melt the bristles and it'll start to shed. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking a bit of Johnson's baby shampoo, and I apologize if this is a long video, but I kind of want to show you guys how I do it, and it takes me a little while. So I just put a bit onto my hand, and I'm just working that into my brush. And some people do it on like an actual paper towel. I find my hand works easier, and I'm just gonna really clean it, get down deep into the bristles. I'm not being really rough, but I'm not being like gentle, like petting a baby bunny's face. I'm being, enough. And then I'm going to rinse it. Now this is how I get my brushes like absolutely squeaky, perfectly clean, sanitized, ready to go. Okay? Like sometimes I'll just spray the alcohol on it and just sanitize between like doing my mom and my friend's makeup, or mine and my friend's makeup, or something. So I just rinsed it again, squeezed out the excess, and I'm going to use my bar soap now. Ugh, and just, no, I'm not talking to myself. The camera, Mom. Sorry, guys. And then I'm just rubbing this all over the bar soap, just kind of massaging it in. This is just gonna make sure I get everything else out that the baby shampoo missed. You say it seems a bit excessive, but I do like my brushes to be really, really, really clean. And I do have a big thing of the baby shampoo, which I definitely recommend getting the big one, but it's hard to fit it in frame. So I just use my little travel one for this video. Yeah, just kind of letting it run over the bristles, making sure I'm not like washing the brush upwards, letting the brush, any of the water flow upwards. Just kind of letting it rinse. This is a thicker brush, so it's kind of hard to do. And so yeah, I'm going now. Last step, I promise. I'm going to take a bit of my rubbing alcohol, and this is just like the Walgreens brand or whatever, I mean, it doesn't matter, and just spraying it onto the bristles to really get them extra clean. Now, your bristles are going to smell a bit like rubbing alcohol, but you know what, to get them perfectly clean. And I'm just going to set them on a towel to dry, and when I'm finished, I'll give you guys a kind of a shot of the towel. Next, I'm going to do an eye brush because I feel like eye brushes are one of the ones that gets dirty very easily with a whole bunch of colors, and I'm basically going to do the same thing. The direction you wash the brush has a really big, like, the way the brush is shaped has an impact on the way that you wash your brushes. So I'm taking this into the water very lightly. Got some soap in my hand and just doing that. This is a really crucial thing, especially to get your blending. And I'm using a circular motion. Notice I'm not going like this. Hold on. There we go. Notice I'm not going like that, because that won't get the brushes clean. It's a circular brush, so I gotta use in a circular motion. And please keep in mind, I'm not a makeup artist, but I have kind of picked these up all over YouTube from other makeup artists, so yeah. I just really want my bristles clean, so that's kind of what it looks like now. Gonna rinse it and rinse my hand. Just very lightly rinsing it. And this is an icing crease brush, if you guys want to know. It's by Icing. It's like Claire's for older girls, but I love this crease brush. Opening up my bar soap again, and just running it onto the bar soap. And then you can use your fingertips. I prefer to use my hand, or you can even use the back of your hand if you want, but I prefer to use my fingers just to kind of keep it. Just rinsing that. Last step, I'm going to be taking a bit of isopropyl alcohol again and just laying this down onto a towel to dry. I don't have a Benjabel brush tree, which I really want one of those, but maybe I can get a spin-off from eBay or something, because I really don't have the money to pay for that. I'm using a foundation brush right now. I don't use this on myself, but I do use it on other people, so it's really, really important that I really get this clean, since I do use it mainly on other people. So getting it wet. And synthetic brushes, this is a synthetic brush, and got it from Dollar General. I mean, it's not an expensive brush, but it works nice for blending out concealer, because I don't like putting my hands on other people's faces. I feel like it kind of makes them uncomfortable. So just really, and see how this is a very flat brush. So what I do is I use a kind of swiping motion. I don't want to go like that, because that's not the way the brush is naturally is. I want to use a kind of a swiping motion. Just like I'm painting my hand with soap. And I really make sure to get this brush clean, because it is a brush I use mainly on other people. So it's kind of, I mean, it's not as important when they're like my brushes, to get them like squeaky clean, but when I use it on other people, that's when I really want it to be clean. Then I'm using the Olay bar again. And you can use any kind of soap, ivory soap, just as long as it's not incredibly harsh. I mean, some people use antibacterial soap too, but the isopropyl alcohol kind of does that for me, and I'm just kind of rubbing this in to the hairs. And if you're from Great Britain, or the UK or something, I believe they call it surgical spirits over there instead of rubbing alcohol. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of spray it onto the thing, and I'm really, really just soaking and saturating these brush hairs with it. So that's what it looks like now, and I'm just laying it down onto the towel to dry. Only one more brush that I'm going to show you guys, I think. I'm going to be using kind of a flat shader brush, basically, and I'm just getting that wet. This is my Urban Decay. Oh, this was from Dollar General, I think I said that, but and this is from Urban Decay. It came in my Naked palette. Ooh, dropping things. Anyways, just going to wash it and just up and down, side to side, up and down, side to side. And you can see how much color, let me back up my hand. You can see how much color is coming off of this brush. Sometimes I just get in the mood to clean my brushes, even though they don't really need to be cleaned. And I kind of noticed that this brush in particular really needed to be cleaned. So, and please don't ask me if it's important to wash your brushes. It is. You could use only one of these steps that I do. I mean, that's not a huge deal. Even though I personally like to do every single step, because I feel like each step has a purpose. but it's like not a huge deal if you don't use every single step I do. But I would prefer you guys. I would prefer. I'm just like, there is really no set way to clean your makeup brushes as long as you get them clean. I think I'm going to show you guys one more brush. I'm going to be doing an angled blush brush from e.l.f. This works on expensive brushes. This is like a $25 brush by itself, but I got it in the Naked palette. This is a $1 brush. This is a $1 brush. I mean, it's like not a huge deal. It doesn't matter how expensive your brushes are. You need to keep them clean even if they could be 1 cent or they could be, you know, $100. I mean, it doesn't matter. So, getting my brush wet. Like that. I realize this is a really long video, but I really wanted to kind of go in depth and show you guys what I did. And this I'm kind of using in a circle and swiping because it's angled. Really working that into the bristles. And just rinse in. Now I'm going to do my soap, bar soap. Just, there we go. And I think that you need to keep, like, this is all my opinion. I mean, it's only makeup, but the reason you do want to clean your makeup brushes is isopropyl alcohol, is that you don't want a whole bunch of bacteria just putting bacteria and bacteria on your face, not to mention that it can make the colors look weird if you're, like, changing colors for eyeshadow or something. Spraying that with alcohol. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to spray this one with alcohol. Haha, what is wrong with me? Just spraying that. Just kind of rotating it as I spray it. But, yeah. I'll show you the setup. I mean, it's not a huge setup. It's just kind of a towel laying down, and I'm caught. Okay. This is how I dry my brushes, just on this little towel. And I always use this towel because the big black powder brush, it tends to leak dye a little bit. So, yeah. But those are the brushes I've washed so far, and then I have them on my toilet seat. I promise I cleaned it. And then I have the 3 brushes that I haven't cleaned yet in a nail file. So, yeah. Please rate, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Everything will be in the down bar, the brushes, the materials I used. And, ooh, another thing that you could use if you have, which I have, but I just dropped hairspray. If you have African black soap, it just kind of looks like that. It's a really good alternative to anything, but I wanted to use things that people would have. So, yeah, see you guys later. Bye.